Hey guys, I want to show you what a so-called bad lighting can do to your movies. So as you see, I started to record at 1/5 of a second, and I'm moving the shutter speed to 1/20th, 1/30th, and so on. You see around 1/50th of a second black stripes. Here you go. They start to show up on the screen, and they're visible on 1/60th of a second. Then as you continue changing the shutter speed, they get bigger and darker, and after 1/25th, 200th of a second, it's totally like unusable video. Like, here you go, as you can see. So first I made sure that mechanical shutter is on, and that was the case. Then the anti-flicker option was active, and that was the case, and at that point I didn't know what to do. It seems that only lowering the shutter speed below 1/50th of a second helped. I asked several questions on Sony groups, on Facebook, on some forums, and pretty much they were all suggesting to use the mechanical shutter or turn the anti-flicker on, but that was not the case. Then I wanted to see if the black stripes will be present when I take pictures, and as you see, the black stripes are there, moving from bottom to the top, but they were only present while I was half pressing the shutter and not when I was actually taking the pictures, while the video was recording the stripes in it. Then I switched to Fuji X-T2. I wanted to check how it will be with that camera, and as you see, the black stripes were there, and they were changing frequency as I was changing the shutter speed settings, including switching from manual to auto shutter speed. And as you can see, just the frequency of the lines was changing. A guy from one of the Sony groups suggested that this is caused by cheap lights, LED lights, and that's why they have a frequency that is causing this flickering. And I did some research, and after that I decided to change the lighting, the bulbs. And as you see on this part of the video, I'm changing the shutter speed, but there is no problem after I change the lights. The problem was fixed. So this is the first light bulb, which is with the so-called bad frequency, and I'll show you now. So here is the camera. It's in 1/5 of a second. I'm starting to record the video now. Okay, so as I'm changing the shutter speed, you'll see, so 1/10, 1/14, 15, 28. Now, after it passed 1/60th of a second, you'll see the black stripes. They will get stronger and bigger. I have a few lights behind me, but they're far away, so they won't interfere, and you can see what I'm talking about. You can still see the black stripes, which are almost gone by 1/50th of a second, but you can see like 1/40th. They start like at 1/50th or 1/60th of a second. You can see them. Okay, so that's the first bulb. I'll stop the video to change the bulbs, and then I'll show the two bulbs. So here is the second bulb, which I bought afterwards, and those do not have that bad frequency. They're perfectly fine. and I'll show you now with the camera. So we have the cameras again at 1/5 of a second, and I'm starting to record and start to change the shutter speed. So you'll see I'm already 160th, 120th, 320th, 400. There is no such thing. This light is perfect and does not have that frequency which causes those black stripes. And again, that's not the flickering. In both cases, the flickering anti-flicker option is on the camera, but as you can see, it depends on the frequency of the light bulb. So that's how I'll show you the two bulbs now. So here are the bulbs that I was using last night for my test. I wanted to show you those and tell you my experience with them. So this one was the first that I used, which had the flickering, not the flickering, but the frequency that was causing the black stripes on the camera. I'll show you the bulb. Before those lights, I have just regular bulbs for my chandelier, and they were incandescent, and I never had any issues with cameras recording any videos at home. But once I put those, then I showed you I saw problems with my Sony, with the Fuji, so there was an issue. As I mentioned, I posted many forums and Facebook groups, Sony groups, and one guy suggested that it's related with the frequency of those lights. That's why I decided to replace them. I did some research, and there were different models, but I chose those ones. I'll open one for you. The quality of this light bulb, comparing with the old one with the long yellow strips of LED lights, is just night and day. Like the light that comes from those one with the small LED panels is just unbelievable. From what I read, it seems that in order to emit constant voltage from the 50 Hertz power source, the different manufacturers use different approaches which cause the light to flicker. Such flickering can be absolutely invisible for human eye, but as you see, devices like the camera, they recorded it, so that could be a problem, which means that we need better quality bulbs. So I bought that socket adapter just to show you guys the difference between the two bulbs, because I didn't want to use the chandelier. I just wanted to use a regular desk lamp for my test. So I bought those cheap socket adapters, and you saw the tests. The problem at home was solved, but my question still is, what if, for example, I go to shoot a wedding and let's say the bride is preparing and doing a makeup, and in the room they use these bulbs which cause that flickering. So what do you do? And the simple question so far is just lower the shutter speed below 1/60th or 1/50th of a second, preferably 1/30th if that's okay. I think that's the best solution so far. I never experienced bulbs like this in any of my events that I have shot so far. And if I have to be honest, only these bulbs have caused issues in my house, although I have this and other types of LED lights, like all my bulbs are LED, but only those yellow ones make problem. Hopefully watching this video less people will use them, and we'll have better light like this one. And that's it. I hope this video was useful for you, and that's it from me. Bye bye.